Yeah.
Yeah, technically.
No,
Listen.
okay.
A couple of things happen here. Number one, you are outing yourself as being, well, this is a current, this is a theme we come back to with your childhood
all the time,
and the meagerness, and that that built who you are,
Yeah.
So there probably wasn't a lot of HBO going on.
I was gonna say, how did you guys watch those movies? You freaking had to have HBO.
We were all poor, but back in those days, if you knew somebody, you would buy a device that looked like a CO2 cartridge for a BB gun. You would screw that into the back of your cable box.
Oh, yeah.
Then take the coax cable from your cable and screw it into the back of the device. What you have just installed is called a descrambler. Yeah. For the young people out there who remember that when you had channels you weren't subscribed to, they would appear all scrambled up on the screen. So you bought the descrambler from the guy. And it was a one-time charge.
That guy's locked now, right?
Probably.
I mean, right now, you could be getting locked right after this. But you were a minor. Minor. It was very illegal.
This is old hat. But I mean, to pay a guy one time for a device.
So good.
And to have all the channels. So
HBO forever.
So as poor as we were.
Wow, Showtime too.
We made up for it with being connected. Absolutely.
Skinamax.
Yeah, early.
It's still good through the...
Sure. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And you found which TV in the house had the least scrambled of the scramble. And I found that if it was more important to have the clear sound than it was to... Okay, anyway.
Hold on. You said scramble. The clear channels. You know what I was dealing with, actually, was I spent half of my time in my grandparents' house, no cable. So I'm talking 13, 27,
yes, sir.
41, 43.
And probably one TV. The entire house, it's the
Hangers, TV. Rabbit ears, you know what I mean? Just trying. So you're always watching 13 around here.
Yeah.
And PBS, PBS, how's it coming in so strong? How is PBS the strongest channel in the world?
Brother. Huh. KTWU.
I know.
Washburn University.
It's because,
it's literally
right
broadcasting.
It's right there.
From Topeka. So I'm glad I could clear that part up for you.
So is 13. But what about 27?
Yeah.
27 was Topeka, but it's out by like Silver Lake.
Yeah, it's around the corner.
That channel signal had to go like 4 miles.
I had to go through some stuff
to get to my grandma's house.
Absolutely. Yeah. But back to Full Metal Jacket.
Okay.
Because we had HBO, the good movie showed every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day. So I watched Full Metal Jacket as a 6-year-old.
Perfect timing.
Brother, there was... Brother,
I don't even know.
Ratings meant nothing, okay? And we were lucky enough to have multiple TVs.
Blood and stuff? There's blood and gut. I mean, people just getting blown apart.
Full Metal Jacket is 2 movies in one.
Oh, all right.
The first movie is the graphic depiction of the boot camp, where you have you got a lot of that going on.
Really important.
And you have R. Lee Emery, who is everybody's drill sergeant. Even though you haven't seen that movie, you have seen clips of him going off on the.
I'm sure I have. Yeah,
he's absolutely incredible. Like, he's what comes into your head when you think of a drill sergeant that is getting in your butt like some hemorrhoids. Now. The second part of the movie, or the second movie within the movie, is when they actually go over to Nam.
Okay.
And everything that happens over there.
Yeah.
And for me, that part of the movie really wasn't captivating.
Oh.
It was all about, give me the drill sergeant.
Really?
That's all that movie was about. It was about him.
Did he drill
terrorizing.
Did he teach you some lessons? This is all about lessons.
The lesson I got from that was don't join the army. That's what I learned.
I could have guessed.
Couldn't handle that. But
wow. I wonder if that did that to a whole generation, man. I mean, there's a lot of things. Anyway,
you need to see that movie. That's a travesty.
I'll watch it now.
That's Stanley Kubrick. Okay, he's a legend for a reason. Of
course. Well, that makes sense. The viewing stuff like that, super important. Changes your life.
That's right.
So, segue is The View. Okay, let's talk about some real estate. A real estate concept here. All right, I've got my little notes that you saw, and you see. I want to know, What's a view worth? What is a view at a house worth in Topeka, Kansas, or the Midwest? If you have the view of the sunset or the sunrise or a private treed view where nobody can see you, or you're living lakefront. I mean, what would you guess? Do you have any idea?
Well, I would say this. One thing you can add to that with us being in Kansas, there's not a ton of hills in Topeka. It's not super duper hilly. So if you're lucky enough to have some kind of house on the hill that has one of those skyscapes as you're looking out the back, because not only do you have a horizon, but you're looking down on hills and other houses.
Oh yeah,
that definitely comes at a premium here because this ain't San Francisco.
But nobody talks about that. No, I mean, right. The reason this came up for me is that an agent that I'm mentoring, she called me last week to come out to a house that's pretty run down, and she wants to know what it's worth. And the house is probably worth, $275,000 as the house itself in a nice neighborhood. But you're looking to the east, and there is nothing there. There are no houses. You can see the Capitol, the Rotunda. You can see all of Topeka, and you're just looking over greenscape, really.
What side of town are we on?
We are southwest. So
you got an incredible. You can look back on the whole town.
Yeah, this is our Summerfield area. So you're looking at the sunrise. All right.
Wait a second.
Yeah,
you're over there
that house.
off of Fairlawn?
You know that house. Yeah, probably that's like $330,000 or something like that.
How long has it been on the market?
Long time.
That house is under contract.
Well, this was like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
Like literally after you showed them that house. You talking about the one that should have never been built, essentially?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know because the ground all comes that direction.
And it caused the issue that's making it sell for way less than it is.
Really, man, you know what caused the issue on that house? If you go out in the back, like the whole thing it's pretty dry, man. And
it hasn't rained for 2 years.
Well, but they built the retaining wall. You just have the cracks in the one spot. Okay, so it's kind of
you said they built a retaining wall,
or maybe they need a retaining wall.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not there.
Hold on, follow me here. All right,
I'm here.
So if it was just the ground. Because it's a huge hill and it's bringing all kinds of water that way.
It's a mountain as far as Kansas is concerned.
If that's all it was, then the whole back would have had a foundation problem. The basement would have been wet, but the only wetness
you saw was in the garage.
What? No, not the garage, but right next to the chimney. Okay. Now in the chimney, now I know because this is what I do. I went and pulled up the carpet in the other spots.
Bro, I went a month ago.
There was not black on the tack strip.
Oh, okay.
It was not wet over there. It was wet by the chimney. And you know why? When you go outside, they got the downspout running for like a third or a quarter of the roof, and it's going right there by the chimney. It goes out like 4 feet, but the ground is super low. They're dumping a fourth of the water from the rain right there.
It's a big house.
Where the spot is, where the cracks are, and there's no crack. There's a deck over here with a bunch of leaves stuck under it. That's bad. That deck, but they put lattice down there. It's catching the leaves.
But don't forget though, in the garage where you can actually see you can see the wall.
Yeah,
you've got all kinds of cracking that. I mean, I guess you could say that downspout could have been the issue for years, but you're asking that wall to do a lot as it stands.
Oh, for sure.
Everything must be perfect. But you can't get away with lack of maintenance on a situation like that.
Absolutely. For years, it was fine. But that's the problem. Like when you have a drainage situation like that, if you don't understand that groundwater is going to ruin your whole entire investment, then you are going to forget. You're not even going to notice that you've got these little swales and these gullies in your yard. And these things, when this whole hill, where you're talking about like 8, 10, 12, 15 lots up there, are all coming your way. That water's coming down. If you don't realize that you have this gully that takes all the water around your house, 15 years later, it's filled with dirt. Leaves have been decomposing right there.
That's
the
right.
ground is building up. And now it's not coming down and then going into a gully. Now it's just coming right down.
And just kind of sitting there.
Did you see that house next door? They've already waterproofed the side over there. And then their downspout. They got 5 kids running around in the back. And they're Asian. I wanted to go over and be like, hey, guys, let me help you here, But the downspout's knocked off. It's like, oh my gosh, guys, it's going to happen again. They built a retaining wall and everything.
But we're talking about sunsets.
Views.
If you're talking about the views, and that does have quite the view.
So, what do you think it's worth? How would you know? Like, how do you quantify something like that?
Well, we'll
Take a
know when
guess.
it closes.
Maybe, I don't know.
because it's under contract right now. And we'll finally see what somebody paid. The understanding I was getting from the sellers were that they were not desperate. They've already moved out of the house. They've moved on. And they had a number in their brain that they didn't want to go underneath. And they were not going to play it as a desperate person. And so I want to see if they stuck to that gun or if this person's getting a $30,000 discount off of the lower price.
Yeah.
That's what I need to know.
Gotcha. So, in terms of quantifying a view, okay, here's what I've done in the past. I have we have a lake in town where lots of, where the nice houses are. There's a bunch of lakefront houses going all around, and then there's houses that are across the street. So what I decided to do was survey all of the lakefront houses. Okay. And then also survey all the houses that are just right across the street, They're
literally in the same neighborhood.
And you still have a view. Yeah.
But one has the view.
Yes. And it might be that you still have a view on the other side of the street. And it might be that this is about lakefront, But what I determined is that, and these are probably nicer houses on the lake too, but I determined that lakefront is worth $50,000, and a house over here is worth $50,000 less if it's about the same size. All right, but that is like 10 years ago, okay, maybe 15 years ago, and then so recently what we've seen is there were a couple of lots that sold on the lake, and I think one of those lots sold for $125,000. So a normal lot around here, if you're going to build a house out in the middle of nowhere, it's probably $50,000. Right? Maybe 30,000 even, something like that. So, maybe the lakefront is worth $100,000, or the lakefront and the view. All right. And then, so basically I'm just kind of spitballing from there. Like, I don't know. Could you say that the view of the sunset is equivalent to lakefront and looking at a lake? I don't think so. No way at all.
But it's better than not having it.
That's
I suppose.
Right. Is it worth half as much?
Here's where it really gets more complicated. Because technically, to the appraiser, none of this is worth anything.
Ooh, but see,
absolutely nothing. You cannot quantify on their mathematical equation. They leave all of that out. There is no addition, no supplementing of the value because of these intangible things that people love and routinely pay more for.
There is a section in the appraisal called sight and view.
Oh, look at my boy, break me down.
And there's never, I'm not even sure that I've seen an adjustment. I mean, I
maybe
guess
that's why I didn't know it existed, because I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's one of those that they always skip over, and I guess I need to go back, think back and see if I have any appraisals that have a view like that.
And see what they give for
and
that.
See if there was one, But so what I'm doing, you can't say that there's no adjustment and there's no value, because there is.
There is, but is it tangible? Is it something they can point to and say, I gave you $15,000 for this. I gave it to you.
Well,
it's right here.
To you. So to somebody that's spending their limit, on a house, probably not. It's probably not tangible. Why? You're thinking about the house, not what you're looking at.
Listen. No, I don't agree.
Okay, no, I don't agree with me either.
I think I think for the people, this stuff matters.
Yeah.
In fact, I read a description this morning about a house that's just in a normal neighborhood, but they made sure to put in the description that it backs up to a lot that's owned by our city.
Yeah.
Signifying there's probably not going to be another house in your backyard. You're going to be looking at grass, which is better than looking at somebody else's backyard.
Yeah.
This particular agent understood that would help sell this house. And there are people who either grew up. See, if you've never had that, if you've never had the lot, it's hard to really know what you're getting if you have never had it. But for the people who lived in a place and they go back in their mind and say, why did we ever move? It's because it was in some weird cul-de-sac, or it backed up to a creek, or something or other that you just don't find every day.
Yeah. I'm with you. I definitely believe there's value there, and I believe that sells properties. A lot of times the things that we discuss in terms of the value of a house, like making improvements. We kind of say we can't quantify those things, but it'll sell your house faster. That is definitely one of those things. But this thing, and my point is that, like, if you've got a family that's looking for 3 bedrooms and 1,500 square feet, they're not going to go down and be like, yeah, we'll take the 1,000 square feet because it's got the view. That's probably not going to happen.
You're 100% right.
So
about
what
that.
we're talking about is people that are buying property with excess budget. They have more money to spend, and they're just the payment every month. And the amount of the house, they're looking for a certain amount of house, but the cost of the house that's not the limiting factor, okay?
Yeah.
They have extra money to spend. So, what do you think? What would you pay to be able to wake up every morning and plod out there, with your robe on, and like the windows are just glowing, dude. And it's red out there, red and orange and purple, and you're like, you don't have to flip the lights on. It's a wall of windows, and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to make my coffee. And you're just looking, and it's just sunrise. Dude.
Yes.
It's glowing. What's that worth?
Oh, yeah. And then
What would you pay for that?
one of the deers comes over the horizon that and you go like, oh, it's Ollie. Morning, Ollie.
Hey there, Thumper.
Listen, here's one more thing that we're not talking about that shows that and I think you can feel it because you've done this much longer than I have. Think about the amount of homes that sell in the neighborhood that you just described. And think about how often they are the ones that have the view. To me, they probably come on the market 15%, 10% of the time compared to the houses that are essentially just another house.
They buy them, they stay.
They don't because they know I've had this. And to duplicate what I've had, what I have now, what I paid for 10, 15 years ago, to what I would have to pay today just to go somewhere else and get what I now have, it don't make no sense.
It has to be the same thing. It would have to blow it out of the water.
Yeah.
The privacy that I have in my backyard, I'm not giving it up. It's not happening.
Now that you've had it?
Yeah, dude. There's no way I'm ever going back to not having that, And so what's that worth to somebody, Like, okay, and before we skip over it, that's the other element of it too. Not only are you looking at it, but what about the scarcity? What about the fact that it's not popping up again? There's not another one. You can't just be like, hey, I'm in Kansas, get me that house with the view. If you get somebody that calls you and says they're going to wait for the view, okay, that person might be looking for 2, 3 years, 4 years,
And, yes.
And then when they find it, you're going to have to compete. There's going to be multiple offers unless this house is downtrodden like the one we were just talking about with, and people are worried about, there's a stigma on it because it just needs a lot of repairs. Okay, back to the guy drinking his coffee in the morning, right?
Oh, yes.
What's that worth to him? How many dollars per month would you pay to be able to sit there and look at this sunset every day and drink your coffee? And then you're just going to walk out on the deck. Just going to walk out on the deck and just sit in your chair and just look and watch. And it's sunrise. So at nighttime, that's shade. You're sitting in your deck in the shade. Okay, you got the perfect setup, man. How much is that worth per month to you, sir? Not even this guy that's got unlimited money to spend. Like this, how much is it worth to you? $200?
I would say whatever the payment would be on the house without the view, you could potentially add as much as 20% of that payment on there, and I'd probably pay it.
Wow. So if the payment is $2,000, you would pay $400.
I'd pay another 20. I'd pay $2,400.
Blowing my out of the water right now. Okay. Yeah. Because the house that I'm talking about right now, that I just listed. All right. I listed this house. The payment on this is probably going to be $5,000. So you're telling me that
I'd pay $6,000.
Yeah,
I'd pay $6,000.
You'd pay $6,000, $1,000 a month extra per month
for air, but in exchange for the air, now I'm getting something now.
Yeah,
I'm getting something right now that I can enjoy every single day, and then I know in the back of my pocket that if something ever blows up and I need to sell, that I'm going to get a premium for this house too. There's going to be somebody else out there like me who gets it. And if somebody calls me up and says, hey, man, your price per square foot, they're going to get hung up on before they say the word foot. Because, sir, I don't care. Go buy the other one.
Go buy the other one.
But hey, but brother, wait, the other one don't have the view. Sir, I know that. That's why I'm priced at what I'm priced. Stop wasting my time. That's my attitude.
Mine has 18 acres right now, okay? Sunset or sunrise, 18 acres. What you just told me, you'll pay $1,000 more per month, sir. $1,000 more per month, okay? The way that we figure that is that $1,000 on the purchase price is $7, right? If your purchase price goes up $1,000, that means you're going to pay $7 more per month based on the current interest rate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so if you're willing to pay $1,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
Let's just divide that by $7. Yeah. And that gives me $142,000 worth of purchase price.
Boom.
You just told me that this sunrise is worth $142,000. That's one way to quantify a view.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah.
Now I was thinking $30,000. Like I'm thinking like this, somebody will probably pay, you said 20%. So who knows, dude? We're making this up as we go along.
Absolutely.
I was thinking this is worth 200. Yeah, I'm going to go out there. I was thinking that's worth at least $200. That's worth $30,000. It's worth more than that. It is worth more than that. It's worth, to the person whose budget is limited, it's probably worth $200 a month. To the guy who's got whatever money he wants, yeah, it's definitely worth $1,000 a month. And he's not even paying for it like that. But if we quantified it to him in that way, you know, then we know it's worth $142,000. Thank you for that. That was fun.
Now, here's the killer. You didn't tell me that the house that you listed, or maybe didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
Was lived in by another agent when he was a child.
Oh, yeah.
His parents bought this house when he was 1, and he lived there until he was 11. And so he shares the listing and says, hey, you guys need to check out this house. I give my personal stamp of approval. And he also used the language, I wish we hadn't had to leave. It was the best house that we've ever lived in. And everything else he lives in will be compared to what he had out there.
I'm about to share his post, another agent's post on my page. He asked me, he messaged me. I knew that his mom lived there. And actually that house was built by the son of another agent. And for some reason, that guy only lived there for a year. He bought it, only lived there for a year. He sold it to this family, big real estate family. This other guy's and
so when they bought, like, did the guy that built it only stay there a year?
Yes.
So they bought a basically brand new house.
Yeah.
And the guy decided he was going to be somewhere else. Who knows?
Now the guy that lives there now, he lived in the house next door with his parents. And now, so then. I mean, when he was young. And now in the house are him, his wife, and his parents live in the residence downstairs.
So when you're at this level, and guys, full disclosure, this is Luke's most expensive listing that he has ever brokered.
$799,000 in Kansas.
And for Kansas, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
This is a house that if we transplanted this and put it in Colorado somewhere, it's a couple $1 million easy.
For sure.
if not a few, if it's up
4,300 square feet
on the mountaintop, you know.
6 garage, home theater.
But when we're at this level, do you even have an open house for a place like this? Is this place private only? No looky-loos? Talk about what changes for you strategy-wise.
Sure.
Going into a house like this.
Yeah, I mean, for me, he didn't even want open houses. And, you know, it would be fun to have an open house, but it's mostly looky-loos. It would be good.
I would be one of the looky-loos.
There you go. And that's just too much traffic in a house, you know. Then everybody, you know, you never know who came, and for years and years and years, they know about the house, they know the layout, they know all that kind of stuff, you know. And even for my house, when after we bought ours, I went out there and I tried to erase pictures everywhere. So people can't just look forever and find out how to breach the walls.
Wait, you went scrubbing? You tried to scrub Google?
I scrubbed.
No!
Go look on Zillow for the pictures of my house. They're not there anymore. They're not there, sir. Because, man, you know. So, yes, that is one thing that changed. We're not doing the open house, you know. I sprung for all the photography. You know, the photography probably is what I know won the listing for me in a way. Wow. You know, I was told who I was competing with.
How does the photography win you the listing when you haven't taken a single picture yet?
Because I showed him all of my previous listings. I have a body of work, you know? So I sent my listings and the other person's listings to them. That's what I did. I asked him if I could because I know that can be a little tacky. You know, I said, hey, look, I'm not trying to bash anybody, but if you look at my listings, all of them over the past couple of years, and you look at theirs over the past couple of years, then
there's a difference.
Yeah,
I
do this all the time. It's not a special thing for me, you know, and this time, and I took a little bit more care. So I wrote the description, and I asked them if they wanted to weigh in, if everything looked good, and we did the video. So we did an aerial video of the land, but we also had the photographer come in and do an inside video that's not just flashing pictures, but it's actually
like you're walking through it.
Yeah, walking through the house. So brother, I don't even know how much it cost, you know, the photography, but we did it, you know, and I really put my nose to the grindstone too. Working on the weekend. I know that sounds funny. You know, we do that all the time, right? But I talked to him Friday. I went Saturday morning. I did part of my report before, and then I circled back with him and closed everything up with these. This is a relocation deal for me. This comes through our company, so there's a lot of extra paperwork. So I basically just worked Friday night till Monday morning and blocked out a bunch of Monday just to get the listing. You know, so
now we don't have a ton of time, but let me ask you this. You're also, this year, participating in a challenge that a lot of you have heard of, and most of us have cowered away from the idea of even trying this. But Luke is in the middle, and all thoughts and prayers to Luke right now. He is in the middle of what is called 75 hard. So I want you to tell us what 75 hard is, and if you believe, possibly, in any way at all, that you being in the middle of that even helped you get this listing.
Huh.
Yeah. Could that have somehow put you in a better mindset, a better anything? Or is it too early to start giving awards to 75 hard when you're only how many days into it?
We are only 5 days into 75 hard. Okay.
Okay.
So, but it's interesting that you ask it in that way because we have been, as I'm into it now, I'm finding that we have been doing this since January 1st. So
what you've made some changes
in our lives? Yeah, I mean, I've lost.
That's why I needed to ask.
Yeah.
Because there's some things you've been doing before you ramped it up to 75 hard.
Yeah.
That even made 75 hard seem like an option for you. So talk about all that, man.
Well, my wife has been wanting to do 75 hard for a year.
So she's crazy.
She's big time crazy, man. And she just came off of 2 knee surgeries on crutches for 12 weeks. Oh. So she has been planning. She lives in the future. You know, she's been planning that on this date, we're going to start. And this is what 75 hard is. You have to work out 2 times a day. One of them inside and one of them outside. No matter what the temperature is, no matter what the weather is, you must work out outside at least 1 time. You can work out outside twice if you want to, but you have to, and you know, for this affected us yesterday because we got up at 6 a.m. and we went and walked around the lake in the dark. And you know, you think like, okay, I'm going to work out twice a day. Yeah, 1 inside, 1 outside. But you don't think about the planning that you have to do in order to
walked around the whole lake.
No.
I was about to say
because these are a minimum of 45-minute workouts.
Yeah, that's like an hour and a half.
It is. Yeah. So we walk one way for 25 minutes. We walk back the other way. Our daughter is 10. She's 9. She stayed home for the second time ever while we went to the lake because it was cold. You know, she would have been complaining, and but that's the coordination that you have to figure out. You know, how do we do this? And also, I mean, she's staying home. Like now, when we were walking, we're like, hold on, we're 25 minutes away from the car. Like, what if something happened? And what if she called? You know. So now when we do it, because we're just gonna walk 5 minutes this way and back, 5 minutes that way, 5 minutes this way, 5 minutes that way. That way, in case something happens, we're 7 minutes away at the lake. Like,
come on, man.
That's what we're gonna do, man. She's 9, dude.
Stop, Luke.
Hey,
Luke, at 9, you were stop. Like that 9, you could drive. Yeah, you could have drove to Wanamaker and picked up a pizza.
I was cutting.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, man. Anyway,
what are you gonna do if something goes wrong? Stop! Don't call me, Gracie. Call the police. I'll see you later.
We also have the baby daddy that we have to worry about too. Because what if he's like, hey, I don't really like you leaving her home alone. You know, it's not safe. You know,
that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
We might have that off camera because I went through that.
Yeah. So in 75 Hard, you also have to read 10 pages a day. You know, not audiobook, but a book. So I'm reading a real estate book. It's scripts and stuff like that. This is stuff that I know, but it's nice. It's a nice refresher. You have to drink 128 ounces of water a day. Okay? It's a lot of water, man. I mean, I'm sweating even more now. If you guys can imagine that, I'm in the bathroom all the time, you know? But now, and it's hard. Have you drank a gallon of water in a day before?
Bro, it's a
chore. You got to work at it, you know?
But I mean, the guy's skin, I mean, it's Jesus Christ. I mean, it was always good, but it's at another level of clarity and dewiness.
So the book has to be nonfiction. You have to follow some kind of diet. And we've been doing that since the beginning of the year. We've been using MyFitnessPal and counting calories. And both of us, she's probably down 15 to 20. I'm down 25 pounds since the beginning of the year. But this is we're not just like starving ourselves and going, you know, eating 1,200 calories a day or 900 calories a day. Nah, dude, I'm eating like 2,500 calories a day. But I'm working off like 900 or 700 calories a day because we've been lifting weights, you know. So I'm stronger than I've ever been. You know, I'm doing like hang cleans and, you know, push jerks and front squats, back squats. You know, I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'm telling you, I'm gonna dunk. Okay, okay. You don't even believe I'm gonna touch the rim again.
No,
I'm touching the rim. I'm 5'6".
If you can jump up and grab the net and hang there from the net, then listen.
I'll go do that today. Maybe. I don't know. I'm 220, man. Okay. All right. If I can get down to 185, maybe I'll touch the rim again. I've never dunked in my life, but anyway, I don't care. That's the kind of goals that I'm having for myself. All right. Playing ball again. You know, she is going to play ball too. We're going to play basketball. Grace is 9. Grace is good. Grace is tall. I want to play with her. I would like her dad to come play. I would like for all 4 of us to have one friend and go up to Rock Chalk Park and run, you know, like, I think that would be a lot of fun. So,
but it starts right here.
Yeah, and you have to you said we didn't have a lot of time, but you have to take one picture every day too. And the thing about 75 Hard is,
I didn't know about that.
If you miss any of those,
it's over.
You got to start over completely.
Yeah.
And you know, she has a mentor that kind of put her on it. And this guy, the second time he did it, he was hiking up in the mountains or something, and his phone was dead or something. Or he forgot a book.
Stop.
And he was like 50 days in.
Stop. Come on, man.
You gotta hold yourself accountable, man.
Oh, buddy. Come on, this
no
guy.
Cheating.
I know. He made this up, right? This isn't
so good.
Listen, brother, I would be in my brain like, all right, I kind of remember how Wizard of Oz go. Here we go.
Yeah. C spot jump. C. Yeah. I mean, you know, good job, guy. Good story, right?
Right.
It's compelling.
I was on day 72, right?
Now I gotta do it again, and I will. So this has gotta do something.
No, listen. I want you to know, I am inspired. You look great.
Thank you.
You know, you've always been a treasure. I'm not going to sit here and act like the guy's, you know, that much more pleasant to be around yet. Who knows? Maybe by day 30, day 45, we'll see some more changes there. But seriously, like this year, I got a feeling that this is going to be a hell of a year in a good way, you know?
Man.
And the discipline that you're showing, it's definitely... It's like, man, what could you do more? What could you do better? Are you really going to let Luke just lap you in life out here? I mean, the guy's getting $800,000 listings. He's waking up, walking, he's walking around the damn lake.
I'm chasing you too, man. I'm waiting to see. You're going to pass me at the lake. I already know that's going to happen.
That's going to be...
You and your buddy going to jog by and be like, fun. Hey, Chris. And I'm like, dang, we should be running. And she's going to start running.
It's going to be fun.
Doc said don't. She's going to do it anyway. But
yeah,
I appreciate you saying that, man. I'm inspired by you saying that.
Keep it up, man. I mean, the whole world now knows that you've set a challenge for yourself, and there's going to be a lot of people that, you know, possibly there'll be a few people that say, "Yeah, he ain't going to get through this," you know. And when he does, I'll feel validated. Inside.
But they don't know that I'm mewing, though. They don't know that. Do you know? Are you mewing right now? You look like you are. See, you have that jawline. That's the thing. You already have it.
Do
you know what I'm talking about?
No, sir.
Mewing is so important, bro. It allows you to not answer questions in class if you're a child because you're mewing. Like, mewing. You don't know what that is?
No.
I just did it. I'm doing it.
Wow. That's why I'm seeing so much definition.
Yeah, it's not
strength
75 hard.
It's from the jawline. Wow, this guy.
You're
Wow.
You're making a sound.
Okay.
And you're pulling it up.
So it's like Kegel muscles for your throat.
It is, man. It's probably, I'm hoping it's going to help my snoring, you know?
It could help a lot of things, it sounds like.
It's tighter in there. It really is, you know? But, dude, you know that I didn't even know what a jawline was before that? I've always heard for years, you know, like, oh, what a jawline. And I'm like, what is that? Who cares? I thought maybe it was like up here that they were talking about. Is that?
Oh, I didn't
know
knew?
that they were just talking about like the corner.
Yeah.
Right here. That's attractive.
Yes. I don't know why, but here's what it is.
It just shows you're skinny. Right?
It's one of those differentiators between man and women. You know, if you got a woman with too much of a jawline,
oh, I'm not supposed to think that's sexy.
You could. It's
so confusing.
Traditionally, the women are the rounder ones, and the men are the ones who get to be chiseled and Arnold Schwarzenegger like. You know, you see the appeal. You know,
I got you. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, imagine what you would look like if you mewed. It's MEWING. Everybody just look it up. You can mew too.
Yeah, I'm afraid of what could happen if I took my sexiness to another level. So I'm just gonna kind of, we're gonna keep her right.
It would be rated.
It could be a problem.
XR.
It could
probably
be a problem.
RX.
It could be.
It would be medical, dude.
One thing I've learned in life is you really want to strive for medium ugliness. Once you get past the 7 in life, it only gets harder for you.
You know this from experience?
We've seen it. I'm not saying I was ever anything above a 7, but I'm just letting you know that that's the sweet spot, man. Once you get higher than that, the people root against you.
I've always been
they want you to lose because they feel like you've already been blessed by being born the way you look.
8.2 was really hard too.
Not bad.
Just for the record. I mean,
I bet it was a rough time in your life, man. People, yeah.
Yeah. You're right though. Like the 10s, like the 10 appearance.
You'll never know in life.
So many issues.
If anybody did anything for you because they were actually nice, or
Can't
because
trust them.
You opened certain doors for them, or you tickle certain fancies for them.
So I'm aiming at 7, baby.
That's all we want to be.
Go.
Put the cap there.
It's gonna happen.
The 7s are what rule the world. Trust me.
So, fun stories for the week. You have anything that happened to you in real estate that people
we'll save it for another time. This episode is all about Luke. This is about inspiring the people watching this, inspiring all the homeboys out there that, no matter how much success you feel like you've had, there's always another level to attain to. And the secret spice of life that makes us want to wake up in the morning is progress. Did you see the twinkle in his eyes? As he said, he feels like he's the strongest he's ever been. Oh. That elixir of knowing you were at one place and getting to it's why we love the Rocky montages so much. It's why anytime you stop by TBS and a Rocky montage is happening in any of those movies, you don't turn it. Yeah. Because you want to see him go from the guy that doubted himself to the guy that can't wait to get in the ring to rip the other guy's head off. There's just something about that. And you're manifesting that right now, and I'm loving every bit of it by proxy.
Man,
there's nowhere else to go, man. I mean, this is a big deal to me.
I always reduce your big assessments to little examples. And, in my mind, I think about how I was hurt. I dug a hole, a 3 foot by 2 foot by 3 foot hole to put in the concrete for our basketball goal 4 years ago. And my back was hurt for days, weeks, But now, since we've been lifting, I'm throwing around bags of dirt. I'm lifting up everything, carrying furniture. When we moved to 3 acres, I was a little worried that it was going to be tough on me. I'm throwing around railroad ties on my shoulder. And I'm not hurt, man. Like the weightlifting has changed. I'm stronger than I ever been. I said it again.
The
I
twinkle
look like
is
this.
there.
Oh my God.
Look at the twinkle.
Look what
y'all.
I did yesterday. I forced a queen size mattress into the back of a Highlander.
By yourself?
Who can do that?
Wow.
Well, no, Amanda helped me. But, man, just so everybody knows, you can fit a queen-size mattress in the back of a Toyota Highlander. The internet says you can, but life tells you that you can't, because that was hard, bro. So, for our Airbnb, we bought a $250 mattress from Amazon, and it had 13,000 above 4-star reviews. And this thing, when you sat on the edge of it, you were falling off real soon. Like you were getting a leg workout sitting on the edge of the bed. It had memory foams 13 inches thick. It's got springs inside. Terrible.
Wow.
We went through trials and tribulations. When this thing got dropped off at the house, somebody stole it. So I had to email Amazon. They gave me a free mattress.
Wow.
Can you believe that? I got the mattress, got it in the house. Junk, garbage. Anyway, we decided we're not doing that, and we found a Tempur-Pedic on Marketplace, which is like a $3,500 mattress. Got it for $600. Forced that one into the back of the Highlander. Wow. Took that over there. Now we have. That's going to be the first thing I put in the description. Is that it's a Tempur-Pedic mattress, so that these nurses, traveling nurses, have a really nice place to sleep. First thing I did after I won Wheel of Fortune is I bought a Tempur-Pedic mattress for $5,000. Ended up giving it to my mom, but we have another one now. Best thing you'll ever do: get yourself a Tempur-Pedic mattress.
Wow. Yeah. I told you, and listen, I tried to tell the guy, he wanted to buy everything new. I'm like, dude, buy good stuff for cheaper on the internet.
I don't know why. I'm that guy. I'm that guy too. What was I doing?
I don't. You were doing what you thought you should do, but I let him know. I said, look, you buy a brand new bed, and the moment somebody sleeps in it for the weekend and does the nasty a couple of times, it ain't new no more, buddy.
Yeah.
You had one person that you got to say it's all
seasoned.
brand new. Yeah.
It's seasoned.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just like every mattress should be. Don't you think? They should. The Tempur-Pedic seasoned.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wanted it delivered. I didn't want to go get it. I don't want to go get stuff because I don't have a truck. Like, you got a truck?
Well,
you got a truck from the 80s.
You got 3 acres.
What year is your truck? What year is your truck?
It's actually 1996, but
Sharp.
that particular body style started in like 1982. That was back when generations went much longer than they do before they make any significant changes.
Did you see that Harrison Family Motors has a truck that looks like that for $16,999 on their lot?
What?
A black one.
I did not.
I don't know what year it is. It's right by my Airbnb.
If I pull it up and it's a Chevy and not a Ford, we're gonna have some serious problems.
You're getting a new truck.
Okay, no, I'm not buying it. I'm just saying that don't.
No, you're selling yours.
Ford.
I'm saying. I want a Tundra. The Highlander. I love it. She's gonna get it. I need to get a Tundra at some point,
brother.
I need a truck.
No, you need a old man
beater,
truck.
but where do I put it? She doesn't like ugly stuff, man. She doesn't like stuff sitting around unless I build the building. Which I had a plan for. That's on the list,
You don't
too.
got nowhere you can tuck it?
No, we don't have a tuck spot. Oh. She can see all angles of the property, man. I gotta hide stuff from her like that.
I get it, but how many nice neighborhoods do we drive through? Even the one that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Where the people are the original owners. The old guy has his main car.
And a truck.
And then he's got that truck. And it's never in the garage. It's usually out there.
You
just
put it
sitting.
right by the garage.
Yes, you do.
Those don't even go in the garage.
It.
Yeah.
They get away with it.
I wonder, should I put a tarp over it? What if it was like a camouflage tarp? You think that would do it?
Possibly for
camouflage
for
tarp,
wifey.
the truck, it's all good.
You need it though. You need a nice truck that you can play old man music on, that you can feel like an old man, that has no power locks, no power windows. Just
Can I tell a brief story real quick before we go?
You can. We got time, baby. This is about you.
So we want to build a building. We would like to build a building on our property. We'd really like a gym, somewhere where we can go out and shoot. Baskets, all right, crossbows,
that took a turn,
and that kind of stuff.
But so multi-purpose this building, or is it really going to be for like one thing? Like,
my mom, we're thinking we want to have kids, right?
Okay.
More kids. My mom comes over, takes care of the dogs, does laundry, all that kind of stuff. And so I had a situation this week where it's like, all right, you know what? Let me ask my mom if she's ready to move over to our house. Because
shut up! I didn't even know that this was ever even possibly in the.
I grew up with my mom's parents in the house. 1-bedroom apartment, 5 people and a dog. You know what I mean? Okay, so right now we got a flip going on where we're finishing it right now. My mom could move in to this condo.
Technically, she owns it.
Yeah, which she has joked about moving into anyway. All right, she could move in there. My mom lives she lives in a house between her brother and her sister. And then there's other houses of cousins around there.
That's right. You're kind of taking over that block.
Yeah. And so and then I have cousins that are buying right now with the first time home buyer grant. And it's just out of their price range. And I was like, well, what if one of them bought my mom's house and she would be moving in next to her dad and her brother? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I ask my mom and she's okay with it, then we sell her house. We take the 80 and we put it on the building. And then we build whatever building we want, and we build her a dope apartment in there. Like dope. Whatever we want, whatever she wants, And she said yes. And then I asked my cousin, and she said yes. And it's like...
This is a whole other episode, bro. You can't... tune in, guys.
I just canceled it. I canceled it this morning because...
What?
My mom has her family, her brothers and sisters, and she's like the center of everything. They come over, they eat in her kitchen, they hang out at her house. Was she like the first one
that came to
the
United
she brought
States?
She's responsible for 40 people coming to America. You know what I mean? She paid for them, So she petitioned all of them. When she brought her grandparents to live in that apartment with us.
Her grandparents?
Her dad,
parents.
Her dad and mom, my grandparents, they became citizens and petitioned for their kids to come. So then 13 years later, their kids got to come. And then they brought their kids after that. And then they're having kids. I'm the only one that's doesn't have a kid. Okay. Wow. Anyway, but so I asked my mom. Amanda's like, hey, you know what's gonna happen? Like, is that gonna change? Because every time she talks to me, Luke, she's talking about hanging out with everybody, and it's like, I gotta call her. So I called her this morning. And I asked her. I said, hey,
you started playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, like what's gonna go on with what about hanging out with everybody? Are you guys gonna hang out somewhere else? Or she's like, I was thinking about that. It's like, so they're gonna come over and hang out at our place. And she's like, well, I mean, yeah, I don't know because it's gonna be a lot of bother on you. She's very conscientious about that. When she takes care of our stuff at our house, as soon as we get home, she's like, I gotta go just to get out of our way. So she doesn't want to ruin our relationship or our situation with her presence, and the same thing at the house. And just thinking about it, yeah, there's going to be a lot of Filipinos over there, like people that wrecked a lot of cars, like driving through our little property and parking back there and hanging out back there. And even my mom was like, yeah, that's going to be dangerous. I was like, no, it's not going to be dangerous, man. That's not what I'm saying. No, not at all. But it sounds, she's like, I don't want it to be annoying. And I was like, yeah, okay. Well, it sounds like what we're doing is kind of messing up this center over here that we've set up so you guys you're 70 years old, you guys can walk to each other's houses and garden and look at each other's flowers, and I think we're not going to do it. So we ain't doing it. Maybe 10 years or 15 years or 20 years from now or something like that. I think we still build it with the potential for an apartment so that she can move there, because she doesn't want to live in our house. But I think someday she'll probably live with me,
Is it time to start pricing out what it would take to run some water, down there, and some electricity, and just start getting an idea of what it's really going to take?
Yeah. If you're going to, you got to start, you got to get the information. So this, you need a catalyst. If you guys are making a change in your life, you're thinking about doing something big with real estate, an agent is a catalyst, but, a signpost or something to help you make that decision is what you need to take you to the next step. The real estate process is all about the next step. And that is what we specialize in. That's what we do. Like if you want to buy a house, you want to sell a house, you just have to make that decision. And then you need to talk to a real estate agent who is worth their salt, that knows where you're at, can recognize that, and can talk you to the next step, advise you, and tell you the right things to do. And that's what we do. That's what our whole job is at all times, the next step.
That's right. And one of the things that I think separates just a regular real estate agent and the high achievers are the ones who can contextualize the things that may not have inherent, easy to understand value.
Very much so.
Whether it's the value of an incredible view or sunset set that is hard to put on paper, or the inconvenience of living off of a major street that maybe somebody doesn't understand. They've never heard the stories or heard the annoyances, and we bring in that experience to say, hey, This is one of the reasons why other people have decided they won't buy here, and let them make the decision for themselves, but at least bring it up.
All of that is in the course of conversation. That is the quintessential attribute of a realtor. You need somebody who is going to have conversations with you, even if they were awkward.
Yeah.
You know, even if they were, if the person is just honest, if the realtor is not holding back, and they're prompting you to have the next thought in that conversation.
Well,
too.
I think it's a combination of honesty and furious curiosity. If you can mix those two together, as somebody who's genuinely wants to know, well, what would you do if this happened? Well, if the dynamics of your family went this direction, would this house support that? And that curiousness versus and honesty, that's what you want. That's what I feel like guys like us provide.
I think so. We care, you know, when we're thinking about those things, we care about those things, and we're aiming you in the same direction that we would aim ourselves if we were in your shoes.
It's just that simple. This is what you get anytime that you come hang out with us and, are in our aura.
Yeah.
This is what we're about. It's not complicated.
You put on our shoes. We love shoes in this podcast, don't we? Basketball shoes.
No, you love shoes in this podcast.
You do. Because marketplace, you getting.
Yeah. The shoes that I have.
All right, I've seen those.
Those
before.
are cute, but I have, believe it or not, I have 4 versions of this same shoe. I'm turning into that guy.
That because you love them.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you just look for the model, and then they have it for cheap. You go buy it.
Yes.
That's what I do. Yeah,
absolutely.
I do the same thing.
And then when this blue one wears out, I'll buy another blue one that's the same. And you want to know what's great about this particular model of shoe? Is that you can put them on without untying them.
Oh, yeah.
Very easy.
The Trunners. The Jordan Trunners. Same thing. That's why I was...
The ones that you got to go full... Yeah.
I don't know if you've been through this cycle before, but let me tell you, the saddest thing is when you can't find them anymore, but you're still wearing them, and then the glue starts drying out, bro. It's real sad. The seams start coming apart. It's like you need to have a funeral for like 8 pairs of shoes.
You're Mr. TikTok. You didn't seen people who like take old shoes that were like in a garbage disposal.
It's not shoe goo anymore.
And make it brand new again.
Mix up the shoe goo. Use the Q-tip. No, it's better. It's way better than that. Yeah, we need an artist, a shoe artist around here. So, you guys, please keep coming back and seeing us here at Hangin
with the homeboys.
It's really fun.
That's right. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much.